I'll introduce myself really quickly. My name is Elaine, and my handle on Instagram and on YouTube is pronounced Leanie Ale. So it's actually my name backwards and several letters in the front. I am super excited to paint with you today. This will be kind of like one of those paint dates I have with my friends where we go out to a spot outside and we just paint. So, I mean, this is the pandemic. You can't be here, I can't be where you are, but you know, we'll have to make do. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. I will base this painting off a photo I found on Pinterest. If you look below, you'll find a Pinterest board with all the paint with me scenes that I will be doing. For a more detailed explanation of the materials I'll be using, please look below. I will also upload a video later on my favorite art supply, so look forward to that. Here I've already lightly sketched the houses and I'll be mixing my gouache paint. So you can follow along and use the paints that most closely match the colors that I'll be listing on the left corner. I will be mixing different consistencies of the gouache. So for this first house, I want it to be more opaque. So you'll want to achieve a kind of milky yogurt consistency. Just FYI, all these paintings will be the first time actually doing them, so I'm just kind of winging it as I go. First, I'm going to be painting the base of the house. Next, I'll be mixing a kind of medium gray for the windows. If you're a perfectionist, then go for it, but I'm just gonna block in the windows. I think it's kind of fun and quirky to not have such perfect lines. Later, I'll be outlining the windows with white, so I'm not too worried about achieving perfect edges. Also, feel free to change up the colors of the houses. For the next house, I'm going to kind of get like a more watercolor consistency, so I'll be watering down the brown that I'll be mixing. But it will still be more opaque than watercolor. So it's kind of cool because I can achieve different shades of brown based on the ratio of paint and water that I'll be using. So same thing here as the first house. I'm just gonna be blocking down the base of the house. Next, I'll show you how I'm going to outline my windows. So I'm just gonna use straight up white, and I'm gonna use my detail brush and just go in. You can also do this later. I just am impatient and I wanted to show you guys how to do the windows a little earlier. But yeah, you might smear the paint while you're working to the right, so it's good to let your paint dry. For the next house, I'm going to use the same brown, but I'm just going to water it down. And for the next house, I couldn't make up my mind. I wanted a light blue, but then I want it to be kind of like a slate gray blue. So I mixed my light blue into the gray. So same thing here, paint the base of the house. This house is going to be more opaque, and I'm using a size 7 round brush here. So my sketch lightly indicated where the windows would be, but with my paint I can actually kind of grid out and take note of the sizes of the windows, making sure that they kind of overall look the same. Next, I'll be mixing a darker gray, and I'll be blocking in the bottom of some of the houses and also some of the windows. You should start brainstorming about how you want to customize your houses. I don't follow the image exactly, so I'll be adding in flowers on the houses and then flowers into the windows. To paint the top of this house, I'm going to use a very watered down gray. It's kind of fun to get different colors into your windows, so you can water down some of the gray and change up the consistency of the paint and get different shades of windows. Next, I'm going to use the brown again, but for the last house, I'm going to water down the brown that we used a little more. And now we're going to shade in the windows. I like to leave the window frame white because sometimes when you're painting white straight on color, it might lift up some of the color. So I would just keep the window frames empty. Now I'll be using my detail brush and start filling in rooftops, windows, little details here and there. You can just follow along. Just a side note, this actual painting took me 2 hours, so just because it's gonna be a under 20-minute video doesn't mean that you need to finish it in one sitting. Feel free to take a break, come back the next day to it. Don't worry about finishing it in one sitting. The fun part for me is to fill in the details at the very end. So here I'll start putting in little stones and bricks and little patterns, and feel free to make them up as you go. For the details, I like to use colored pencil to accentuate the features of the house. So I'm gonna use black, gray, brown, and just outline the roofs, the windows, throw in some details here and there. Now I'm going to decorate some of my houses with some flowers and some leaves. So here I'm going to mix a olivey green. Here you want to use some of your creativity and just paint in flowers wherever you want. I'm going to do it in some of the windows, but I'm also going to paint daisies on the first house. So here I'm putting down the centers of my daisies in yellow, and then I'm going to fill it with little white petals. When you go over gouache paint, be careful not to pick up too much paint. Also, I love houses with ivy all over them. So here I'm going to paint little leaves all along the sides of the house. And yay, we're done. So if you're able to finish this in one sitting, then bravo. But if you're not, then just come back to it here and there throughout the week and add to it. If I wasn't painting this for a video, I honestly would have taken a week to finish this. I would just work on it slowly, come back to it every day and throw in a little more detail. Thank you so much for watching my first Paint With Me video. I don't know how I did, so please comment and let me know. Also, give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, and if you paint something, please tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see. Also, subscribe for more videos. Thanks.